This tutorial is going to look at how we create a half treble crochet. Again, I'm using UK terminology, so if you're getting confused, then if you, maybe because you're using the US terminology, just check out kind of what you've been using to now. But if you're totally new to crochet, then obviously, being in the UK, I would recommend you use UK terminology. So I've done a simple chain to start off. Obviously, I'm not doing an actual tutorial on a make here. I'm just talking you through a stitch. Each stitch will have a turning chain, and a double crochet will have one turning chain, which will basically mean you go in the second chain from the hook. So you wouldn't go into that one, you would go into that one. A half treble means you go into the third chain. So you yarn over first, which is obviously different from a double crochet. You go into your space, you yarn over again, you pull through, and you'll see, just pull your work here so it's down here at the bottom of your hook. You've got 3 loops on the hook. You now yarn over again and take off all 3. 1, 2, 3. That is your half treble. I'll show you that again. Yarn over, in, yarn over, out, yarn over, off. As a you know, if I'm teaching kids, I sometimes say to them, you know, to think of various words. So you go over, in, over, out, over, off. And I just get them to basically chant that as they're going through it. Then it comes a bit sort of meditative, I guess, as well, in a process which they kind of can get used to. Then you can see here, you've got your 3 loops here. So you kind of will always know that that's a half treble because you can see your 3 loops. And obviously you've got your V's on the top. I'm just going to go to the end of this row to give you an idea. Then what we do is to turn your work. Because obviously we're working off here, working off the foundation chain rather than sort of working through the V's. So this is my last stitch going through, and again remember that turning chain. So I will now chain 2, 1, 2, and then I'll turn my work, and now is where you would be going through your V's. So you could be doing, you know, if you're working in the round, for example, you obviously don't work off a foundation chain, or if you're using a half treble as part of a pattern, you don't always work off a foundation chain. So just to give you an idea, if you're doing a half treble now, you would be going in, those are your 2 chains, you wouldn't go into there, you go into that V over both of them, so you can see you've got the V there. So you don't want to go into one of them. That is a stitch you could use, it would give you a different pattern. So you go through 2 of them, and then you take off all 3. I'll show that again. Yarn over, go through, yarn over, come out, and then kind of pull your work down here. If you're working really tight, you might want to release your tension a bit. You don't want to be like working really tight into here. It's kind of not the point of, you need to relax, like take a breath, you know, give your shoulders a run down, and just turn your work down so it's facing, pull it up a little bit, yarn over, take off all 3. Again, I think if we've talked about before, if you're teaching with kids, they might find that pulling off quite difficult. So what I sometimes suggest is that you just do that, that, and that. They can do it with their hands. And also there's just the turning of the hook. So you can see kind of as I'm doing it, sort of at the moment my hook's up. So it's now up to the ceiling, and as I'm starting to take it off, I go down 1, 2, 3. And that is your half treble crochet stitch.